We have some significant breaking news here in the NHL. The wait on Nikolai Ehlers has finally come to an end. He's chosen his team. We'll discuss the deal coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. Nikolai Ehlers, the largest, best remaining UFA on the open market, now has a team and a contract. The saga that's been dragging on for nearly 3 days is over. The Carolina Hurricanes are signing Ehlers on a 6-year contract valued at $8.5 million average annual value per season. So that to me is a really good deal. Considering what he was making before, his level of experience, his production, I think Carolina is a great fit for him, and I think this is a very reasonable contract for both the player and the team. It's obviously a bump up in pay for him compared to his last deal, but it's not crazy and unreasonable like we've seen a few contracts, I think, in this UFA period that's been a little bit crazy. But I think he'll fit well. He's a great skater, great offensive instincts. Not the biggest guy, and you could maybe argue that maybe Carolina should have a little bit more beef, a little bit more size. They do have some players like Aho, Jarvis, great players, but a little bit on the not big guys, you know what I mean? But I think Ehlers will fit terrifically well with them. We know Carolina is a very aggressive, hard forechecking team. He may not be the kind of player you think of when you think of their model of play, but I think his style and his speed will fit well with it, and I think he'll be able to adapt to Rod Brind'Amour's way that he's going to want and expect him to play. I mentioned before, I do think we could see some other changes to the Hurricanes lineup. I'm not completely sold that they're not done making moves here. And as NHL insider Chris Johnson said just a couple of hours ago, once the Ehlers decision comes down, he expects there to be a lot more activity, not only in the remaining UFA market, but in the trade market especially. There's a lot of teams right now that are unhappy with where things are at. The UFA market ended up being pretty light after a lot of players last minute ended up re-signing with their existing NHL clubs. So the crop of players that's changing teams here and getting into the real UFA market really wasn't that great. A lot of them came off the market, and teams are left looking for what do we do now? Well, you're going to have to address your needs through trade. So he does expect there to be a flurry in activity here between today, tomorrow, like the next little bit here. We'll see if he's right. I do think he's on to reasonable assumptions there. And then, of course, the remaining players that are still out there looking for contracts, teams are going to be looking to them that were in on Ehlers going, okay, who else can we get here that has some skill that can maybe help us put up some points, etc., and kind of go from there. But there's not a ton left out there, but there are few interesting names. We'll see if this spawns some activity. So let me know your thoughts on the Ehlers contract, the fit in Carolina, and what comes next for the remaining of the league now that this is finally announced and official. We'll talk later on the channel with another video, so stay tuned for that. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that, and everything else. We'll keep you up to date with all the news and rumors around all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.